you guys are not familiar with Jodi Picoult, or perhaps it's Jodi Picoult, I'm not entirely sure. That's up for debate. But I always called her Jodi Picoult. She's a very famous author. She's got to be old. I've been reading her book since I was in middle school. But apparently this author who writes about love stories and romance is apparently a politico on TikTok. She's been posting about politics a lot on TikTok. And most recently, she went after a Republican-crafted bill called the SAVE Act. Here's a bit of her unhinged rant.
Here's what you need to know about the SAVE Act, which Congress is voting on this week. If you got married and changed your name, your ID will not match your birth certificate. If you don't have a passport and your ID doesn't match your birth certificate, you cannot prove your citizenship according to the SAVE Act. So what does that mean? You will not be able to vote.
Let me start off by saying that was such a clearly scripted video. She's reading off a script, and I'm not bashing her for that. I do that too when I'm trying to put coherent sentences together in a video that I'm putting out to the internet. But what threw me off is that she didn't really make a coherent argument. Like, everything she was saying, if you ever do a brand deal with anybody that's talking about politics, they'll send you things in bullet points, right? Like facts in bullet points, or kind of a mock script that it won't have all the full verbs, or it's missing words. And it's almost like she copy and pasted those talking points into the teleprompter and then just spat it out without going to double check it or verifying it or doing any of her own work. She just did that because she likely, I can't say allegedly, not for sure, but most likely was paid to make this post. And then kind of the quicker you get those out, the more views you can get, and you usually get paid per view. That's how it works in this kind of social media sphere. And I think that because what she's saying is completely incoherent. And also the inflection in her voice, right? She's not speaking coherently as if she's written the script herself or talking about it like she's informed on the matter. She's really just rage baiting and then saying, Republicans are trying to take away. It's not adding up. But this is what her claim is. And this is not specific to Jodi Picoult or Jodi Picoult or whatever her name is. This has been a long-standing strategy by leftist outlets to try to tell women that they are in harm's way of being able to vote. Their right to vote is going to be eradicated if this SAVE bill passes, which is so far from the truth. But the claim is that you have to show 2 forms of ID in order to register to vote, and that they must match your birth certificate. So married women won't be allowed to register to vote unless they change back to their maiden names. Doesn't make any sense. It's not in the bill. But I have very recently changed my name. And I've gone through almost the entire process. I started with my social security number, did that, was really simple. Then I got my social security number, sent that in with my marriage license, got a passport. Now I need to go next week to the DMV and get my name on my ID changed. It's a tedious process. It sucks. But changing my name was never going to hinder my ability to vote. If you get married on November 4th and the election day is November 5th, you just wait to change your name, right? I was sitting there, I'm like, logically, I got married October 5th of 2024. Then I had a flight in January that I booked under my maiden name. And I just didn't change my name until after that flight. It's not rocket science. You could do the same with voting or registering to vote. Just wait until after. It's not that hard. Anyway, besides the logic part, which apparently liberals don't want to hear, the actual text of the bill doesn't say anything about 2 forms of ID, right? I read the bill. It's relatively short, given these lengthy bills that are passing in Congress nowadays. And within the first 5 paragraphs, this whole thing is debunked, right? The SAVE Act requires people to show an ID, a passport, proof of citizenship, any type of proof of citizenship. That could be your birth certificate, adoption papers, naturalization papers for immigrants. You could bring your birth certificate and your marriage license and say, hey, here's my certificate proving I was born here. Here's my certificate proving I changed my name. Anything to prove those. You can do that. You could also just bring your ID, which I'm pretty sure most women, if not everyone, has. You just need one of those. One. In the off slim chance that you've changed your name on everything else and you've lost your ID, you've lost your passport, then maybe you might have to bring 2 forms of ID. But come on, we're not going to pass a bill securing our register to vote process because of a maybe. Oh, well, what about this? That's how we're operating? There's nothing about name changes in this bill that is not taken care of, okay? Nothing about having to have identification that matches your birth certificate anywhere in the bill. This is just simply not rocket science. Just read. And by the way, for Jodi Picoult to be the one saying this, woman is an author. You'd think she'd be smart enough to do just that. Read. Apparently not. Bonus, Representative Chip Roy, the congressman who created the SAVE Act, put out a statement about this manufactured lie. He told the Federalist, for the tiny fraction of women who have changed their name right before an election, the SAVE Act explicitly directs states to establish a process for individuals to register if there's a discrepancy in their documents, such as due to a name change. AKA, there will be systems in place for those rare cases that must be established state to state, since states are in charge of how they operate voting. Therefore, we can't tell you what it's going to look like in California, the operations of that, because elections are done on a state-by-state level. It's very simple. Another thing that came across my mind when I was talking about this in a short-form video yesterday, or just writing the script for it, and it came across my mind. Let's just critically think for 1 second. The Republican Party, the party that encourages women to get married and have families, the party that advocated for tax breaks for families that have more than 5 to 6 children, that's the party that wants to punish women for changing their name by getting married? You truly have to be brainwashed to believe that. Truly. Unfortunately, that's the reality for a lot of women. I was reading the comments on Jodi Picoult's video and just watching how susceptible women are to lies without even taking 1 second to critically think. They were like, oh my gosh, thank you for informing me. Thank you for telling me the truth. It's like we're living in The Handmaid's Tale. When I read those, I was like, frick, guys. Now I understand why people want to take away our right to vote sometimes. I'm kidding. But kind of not, because it's really annoying. Like, take 2 seconds to read. It's so simple. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment about how beautiful, intelligent, and funny I am. And if you want more content, click right over here for more videos and clips of my show. I'll see you back here next time. Bye!